Welcome back to the farm. I've got a project I need to complete because I don't have anywhere to put our new quail that are ready to come out of the brooder. Let me show you what I got going. This cage I have used for years with this wire door on it. And it's just a little hook right there that I hook up there. Well, this thing will scratch you and all kinds of stuff, so I want to put a good door on this thing because I'm going to be using it and getting into it a whole lot more often with the quail. So what I think I'm going to do is frame it out with this 2x2, probably put me a crossbar right here so high up, cover that with wire, and then put a framed door in here with a latch. So y'all come on with me and let's see if we can get this done. I think we can. Well, the first thing I need to do is measure this door right here, the height. The width is definitely going to be different, but I need to know the height. So let's check that out. This is my quail pen that I'm using. It is 1 foot even. So now I know I need to make that 1 foot because I'm going to be using the same kind of feeder. Let's go get that done. So I got my board here. I need 1 foot. Let me get my pencil. I need 1 foot. Measure that out. This is going to be my cross brace at the bottom of the door. 1 foot even. We go. Get out of here, grasshopper. Let's plug that thing in. Goodness, that plug wants to hang on. These candy cane extension cords are, man, they don't turn loose easy. When something's plugged in, it stays plugged in. Boy, this thing's all bent up. I must have stepped on it. Okay, that's plugged in. See if we got fire there. Okay, it's all's good. Let's you know what? I'm about to mess up. I don't know how wide that needs to be. I need to measure this door width and then put that 12 inches down. So let's measure that. So I need it to be a 12-inch opening right here, and then I want to fill in the bottom. So let's mark it. Boy, it ain't going to be much difference, but it'll be a little bit. 12 inches there. $12 there. Now I can measure across at my lines 10 5/8. 10 5/8 inches, not 1 foot like I was about to cut. Just 1 3/8 inches off. I would have been wondering why that don't fit. That don't make no sense. Why don't this fit? Why don't it fit? Okay, let's see if it fits. It's a perfect fit. All right, now we need to put a couple screws in that. That is not going to be easy. I think I'll go get my Craig jig, y'all. They make these jigs much more elaborate than mine, but hey, I got one and it helps out a lot. Mine is a single hole Craig jig, and it's the Craig brand. And then you have your bit that helps you. So let me show you how that works. What I'm going to do is you set this jig on the edge just like that. You can clamp it on or not, and then I'm just going to use my hand, try to hold it. I think I can. Get the right bit in here. Get a little closer up here, y'all can see a little something. All right, so you just hold it down and you guide your bit right into the hole. And it has a bit stop on there. And what it did was give me a pocket hole to put my screw through and a pilot out the end, if you can see that. Oh, you can see right through it. Now let's do the other end. Just makes it less likely to tear your wood up and give you a good joint. So the double wouldn't work on this 2-inch wood anyhow. And just like that, I've got me some guide holes ready to go, drilled out the whole 9 yards. Let me see if I can do like I did on the other end. It ain't gonna show up, but there, like that. Nope, that didn't come out. There's a crack there. This thing may crack on me, but we're gonna try it and see what we can get. All right, let's put this back in place. It's not gonna have a lot of pressure on it, so I think just one screw in each side will work. Well, can't get it to go in there now. There we go. All right. All right, all right. Let's get a couple screws in that. Put my Craig jig back up before I lose it. There we go. Here's my screws. It's a Phillips. And there's my fittings. Phillips bit right there. Yeah, don't have that out here. Hopefully my audio's okay. I sure don't have very many screws either. One, two. Hopefully y'all can see what's going on there. Okay, now get these old springs out of the way. We ain't gonna be using them. I'll have to get them off there in a minute. We want to staple the wire so it covers down here. I'm not going to worry about piecing all that together since it's already sealed. I just need to staple the wire there and then cut this piece off. I may cut it off first. Let me go get some tin snips. I'll be right back. All right, I got the tin snips. So if I hold that up there, I can tell where I need to cut it. Right there. All the way across on line. All right. Now I can just staple that in place. Let me get the staple gun ready. I got to grab some oil. I'll be right back. I like these zoom spout oilers. That spout, they call it a zoom spout oiler. Just stays inside the oil jug. I guarantee you this one is 30 years old, and that's how much oil. I've never refilled it. I use it a lot, more than you think, but it just takes a few drops each time. Here's my staple gun, and I just literally squeeze a couple of drops in there. That ought to be enough. That's it. Got to get it lubricated. This is going to be a little bit of fun to make sure I line up on these little bitty wires, just like that. Don't need very many. And I think that's good, y'all. Next up, we need to know what this needs to be and cut it from that 2x2. It is 10 5/8 like the other. 10 1/4. That changed. Should be 1 foot by 1 foot. 1 foot by 1 foot. So I'm going to cut it. I'll say that was 10 1/2. So there's a slope here. This ain't square. We're going to do make it fit carpentry. All right, so I'm going to cut this one 10 3/8, and this one 10 1/2, and that's going to give me at least an 1/8 inch gap. So 10 3/8 and 10 1/2. Let's do that. 10 3/8 is right there. Whack that one. Ten 1/2 is the next one. This one is top. Let me mark it. 10 1/2. Just like that. As long as the top's marked, I don't need to know, I don't have to mark the bottom, right? So now I need 2 12s for the verticals, and they need to be minus the 1/8 that I was taking off, and 1 1/2 inches, so 1 5/8 off of 12 makes 10 3/8. That's what we want, 2 10 3/8. And we'll check that before we cut 2 of them. 10 3/8 right there. Let's see how it fits in the opening, y'all. And I didn't measure right. I just took 1 off. I need to take 2 off. So I need another 1 1/2 inches off this 10 3/8. That's going to be 9 5/8 is what this needs to be. 9, and that's why you always check though. I know I make mistakes. Let's make this 9 5/8 and check it. 9 5/8 will be right there. That's not 1.5 inches. It's going to be 9 1/4 is what it's going to be. Let me check that, make sure that's 1.5 inches. No, that's 1 inch. I'm going to get it right, y'all. What it is 8 3/4. And let's see if that fits. Hopefully I got my math right. Eight and 3/4 did it. So now I need 2 of these. A quick way to do that, let's throw that scrap in the bucket there. Instead of worrying about trying to measure it out again, you just hold the right one up there, mark it that way. There we go. I think we're done with the saw. All right, let's lay this out. All right, I know these 8 3/4 are my uprights, right like that. This one says top, right there, and this one's got to be the bottom if that's the top, right? That is exactly what we want. Now, I could use my Craig jig on that, but what I think I'm going to do is go get a pilot bit, and I'll just, let me see, I just have a few screws, and I need 2. That ain't going to be a very long one. I think that'll work. It's not a very big door. 2, 4. I got enough screws. Let me go get a pilot bit, y'all. I don't have a real good bit set, so I had to dig a little bit, but a pilot bit I got. And I got a step down bit here that I'll probably use this step down bit. It's a little wider. Now, if you don't know, a pilot bit is just simply pre-drilling the hole so the screw doesn't split the wood. That way, when you're working with small wood like this, you don't split it. And then I want to drill the step down bit. After I drill the pilot bit, I'll drill down into this area. Let me get it over here so you can see. To that second notch, this one, right there. And that way, the head, when it spreads out, will not, it won't split the wood. So the idea is I'm working with small dry wood that splits easy. So let's do that. Pilot bit 2 times on each end. There. And there. Now let me put that step down on here. Ooh, that drill bit's hot. Didn't take me long to look at that. That was hot, hot. Whew. Burning my fingers. Like Johnny Cash said, it burns, burns, burns. The hot drill bit. Oh, maybe that ain't what he said. All right, let's step this down. About like that. About like that. I don't want to overdo that step down because it don't take much. That's the top right there. This is the bottom. Caught a chicken out of the corner of my eye over there. All right. Show you what that looks like. There's pilot holes and 2 step downs. And it's done on all 4 ends, top and bottom. So this is the bottom. This bit won't be near as hot because I just used the tip. Now we can put our screw bit back in. And let's put it together. I'm not too worried about it being square. It ought to be just fine as long as the wood is fairly straight. And I was expecting that. That's what a big belly's for. I don't want to go in fast because even though I pre-drilled it, if you go in too fast, you can still split the wood. That's why I was doing what they call jogging it in, not straight drilling, constant, just hitting the trigger, hit the trigger, hit the trigger. That's called jogging it in. Now you can see that's what my corners are going to look like. Let's get the rest of them. Okay. Just like that. So that's a little loose. It picked up, pulled a gap in the wood. So if you back it out the second time, it'll give you a tighter joint. Most of the time, that time it did not. And it's still a good tight joint. I don't want to be too loose of a joint. Sorry about that. Hope that didn't hurt your ears. But I'm not too worried about it being really tight either. Because remember, we gave ourselves 1/8 of an inch on all sides. Some of these screws are used too. I'm a cheapskate, so because they're used screws, they slip a little in the bit. Remember, it was narrower at the top, so I had to push this upright in a bit. Just like that. Still got to put 2 screws in it, but let's see if it fits. Fits like a champ. Fits like we made it for it. So that's a good thing, because guess what? We made it for it. 2 more screws and we're done with the frame. I told you it wasn't a very big project, but it's a project I should have done a long time ago. All right. That's ready for wire, y'all. Now, before I can wire it, I want to pull these old springs off of here. And get them out of my way. There it is. Now, we just nail that down. But first, we need to cut it off. We want to cut right there. And right there. These old tin snips, they don't spring back on their own anymore. So I constantly got to pull them open. Pretty nice evening, y'all. Very nice, actually. It's hotter than normal October, but still a pretty nice evening. All right, that is good to go. We need to staple that down. Let me get a drink, get the staple gun. Okay, that dude is ready for hardware. I've got some hinges and a latch right here. Let's see. I want that latch. I'm going to have to hinge it the way I really wasn't intending to, but that's okay. I could put the latch on. No, I want it right there. Let's get that latch open. Right there. Got 4 screws. That's ready. Now when you're drilling into the side of the wood like this, it's generally not a problem splitting it. All right. Whoops. Moved it a little bit because of the wire behind it. I actually pull that one out. And let's put it back where I want it. A little more square with the door. All right, now we put this screw in. And then we put that other one back. And it should stay a little more in place. And it did. You know what? I could have put that on the other side. Just the way that's designed. It would work either direction. I didn't realize that. That's okay. That's okay. We've already got that. This piece will go on the pin. Set that out of the way with those extra screws. They're not extra, but we'll set them out of the way. Throw that in the trash. That in the trash. And let's get the hinges out. I'm going to bend that wire up out of the way and then hope I can put it back. Good luck, huh? It should be all right, but it's kind of in the way of my screw heads, and I don't want to have it move. Hopefully there's extras. Line that guy up right there. Looks like it's pretty good. It's not critical on these little projects like this. Bigger doorways, tighter thresholds, things like that could be critical. This is not. Okay, there's that. That wire back. Let's bring this wire up a little. This one's a little looser. I may never get that wire back now. That's okay. There. And there. All right. So if I do this, that, may have to trim a piece of wire over there, but I think that's going to work. Let me get my screws here. Hello, Goose. That's Maverick talking to us. He's got a day of freedom. I let him and his girls and our Jubilee Orpington rooster out today. They're running all over the place. It's late in the evening, if you can't tell. That's the sun setting behind me. Fortunately, a quail pen doesn't have to be super substantial. And this is just kind of a temporary setup. I'll show you what I mean. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, that's why you check it. Pull these screws back out of here. Yep, it's just gonna hang on. That's all right. I got a little skinning I can do to it. I think will help us. All right, I got to go get my cutoff tool. I think what I will do is bevel the back side of this upright. That's what I'm thinking. Probably hit a screw. It's going to be easier for me to lay it over instead of working up high. Okay. It is not pretty, but this is not fit and finish carpentry. In other words, it don't have to be pretty. I'm going to bevel my door too, just because. Oh, hey, yeah, if you've guessed this ain't the same day, you would be right. It's not even the same audio equipment. You may have already seen our test of the new DJI Mic 2. I got a phone call right about the time I finished beveling this inside of this frame, and now I need to bevel the door, but that phone call shut me down, and it is 2 days later, but we finally got back to it. So let's get busy. I got the door here and my cutoff tool. I beveled the inside of that, and now I want to bevel the inside of the door, which is right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. All right, that's got it beveled. Quite a bit more than I really needed. Let me pick up my little pieces so they don't get lost in the grass. Dina, you may be able to hear, I don't know, with the new microphone, maybe you can't, but Dina is mowing right now in the front yard, but I can hear the mower. She's coming around the end of the house some, So maybe that ain't bothering you guys. But let's see. I think if we go back right where we were, we're gonna be in good shape. Let me get my drill set up. I've used it for something else since then. Yeah, it just took me way too long to get back to this project. I needed to have this project done already. I think 2 screws is going to let us test it to see if we have done a good job. Can we open the door? It's still dragging a little bit. But it's dragging on the wire, not the wood. Let me go get those tin snips right quick. Got them. Let me see. Can open up this one little spot right here. Get the wire out of the way. That's not a hammer. I was trying to use it like a hammer. Now let's see. Okay, I'm still dragging on the wood, so I'm gonna put more bevel on that. Down she went. It's gonna look like a beaver built this. But it is going to work. We will get there. I do believe. Okay, there. Let's put 2 screws back in, check it again. Okay, here we go. All right, we are where we want to be. That is going to work perfect. Now, let me put the rest of them screws in them hinges. Get them dug out of this little box I put them in. Check it one more time. It is rubbing just a skosh, but it's not enough to hurt us. It's enough I could feel it, but not enough to hurt it. Now let's put the plunger stop, or the plunger catch, on here. Right there. Now does that work? Hot dog. Everything's good. We got it done. Let me flip it around here. Check it out. That is gonna work great. Almost a fold flat hinge. Oh, it might be. I never did put the metal back. Remember when we bent it up? Y'all should remember. It's been just a few minutes for you guys, but it's been days for me. Now that is a fold flat hinge. We are not going to be using these feeders. And we're definitely not going to use that paper plate. All right, I'm going to bring the quail out here, and we're going to put them in there one at a time. And I think before I do that, I'm going to move the door that we're sitting on, so it's just sawhorse in case they defecate. I don't want it on my door because that's got to be done soon. Give me a minute. Okay, I would bring y'all closer, but using that gimbal, it might focus on me and you wouldn't see the transfer. So let's catch some birds if we can. They're going to be a little bit flighty. This is a male. If you don't know, the Coturnix quail or Coturnix quail, that brass, that copper looking chest right there, bronze chest, that means it's a male. They're feather sexed. So I want to count how many males and how many females as we're switching them over. Let's do that. He doesn't like me holding him. One male. Okay, let me show you the difference. This is a female. See that speckled chest? See her speckled chest? That means she's a female. Like I said, it's feather sexed. So that copper or rust colored chest is male and the speckleds are female. So we're one female, one male. I'm hoping for a lot more females than males. Seven and seven, y'all. That's about right. I was hoping for 10 and 5 maybe. So 7 and 7. They're ready to go. I'm changed my mind. Now I told y'all I was going to put this, or at least I think I told y'all, that I intended to put this underneath my other quail cage. But I'm going to put this inside the brooder house. Just gave them a whole lot more room. I've got to make them a new feeder and a new waterer. No, I don't have to make a waterer. I got to make them a new feeder and give them some water, which I'm going to do that right now. But I'm going to wrap this video up right here. Thank y'all for coming along. If you hadn't already, please consider subscribing to the channel, and also give us a thumbs up. Share our videos out on social media. It will help us immensely. Thank you guys. God bless, and we will see you again on the next video.